Hey, it's Josh with Content Marketing Media. So we've been doing a lot of complex stuff lately, but I thought I'd kind of get back to more of how can we use Clay in this video to really get detailed information quickly in a cost-effective way for identifying if companies that match your ideal persona or customer profile, if we could get and determine, do they provide the service that we're actually looking for? And so we built a quick workflow. Want to walk through just how we got the data in this table to start. So the nice thing with Clay is, depending on what subscription level you're in, you can import varying degrees of companies from LinkedIn. So you could do this by creating a new table. I'm going to show you how to do it into an existing table, and you just hit import and you do find companies from LinkedIn. And in this particular query, what we did is we did start from lookalike companies. And so we typed in our domain, content marketing media, and then we just wanted to focus on the United States, right? So it looks like this. And I'll just put the HTTPS in front of that. And we hit review companies. And what happens, what's going to happen is we can go out and find companies, right? So this is a pretty huge list. You can obviously narrow it down by particular disciplines that a company provides, employee size, et cetera, city, state. You could limit the results, right? So once you do this, then you can just import these. And again, depending on what plan you're on, you can it determines how many you can import. But this is built into what you're paying for with Clay. So pretty cool way to start with a genuine list. In this case, we're doing one that looks like our company. And so I'm going to exit out of this so you can just see. This is also how you can add to this list pretty quickly. But I wanted to give you a measurable sample. So when you do that import, you get the company name, description, industry. I did a filter for online media, employee size, the type of company they are, the location. Obviously, we did US only, and then the domain and LinkedIn URL. So all of that is part of your Clay plan, which is nice because you're not bringing in any additional cost. And so you've done a very specific search, in this case, companies that look like ours. And then what we want to do in this workflow is, and this is where we're going to get the unique results, is we want to see if they offer specific services, right? So there's a lot of ways you could go about this. I have found this to be a pretty unique and effective way to determine, we have these lookalike companies that match what we do, but do they actually provide the services that maybe we're trying to outreach for them? So I picked email marketing, we picked AI, and we picked consulting. And so we're going to use ClayGent, and we're going to use our own API key. And simply we're going to research the domain, their official website, which we got from that import. And we're going to gather key information about their product, services, target market, any recent news, recent achievements, and innovation. And then in the prompt, we've asked it to look for, do they provide any these three services: email marketing, AI, and consulting. And then we asked, if they do, just output it in a yes or no: AI, email marketing, consulting, right? So pretty specific query. We have the cost here. And again, this cost is really going to be determined based on whether you use GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 or 4 Turbo. And we decided to use 4 Turbo just to evaluate the best output. And then we have a confidence level here. So obviously I wouldn't use this one right here because the confidence level is 0. I generally use 75 as a good barometer as to what we would use. And so we ran these for these companies, and you can see pretty quickly through the output that we get the list that we asked for. Yes, email marketing, AI, no. Yes, consulting. Here's the reasoning. I like this example a lot because if you notice and you read what it says here, it gives us citations, right? So I can click in here, and in this exact example, I can see, and I'll just type in, I'll do a search. But you can see, I handle our email marketing right there. This is a blog from their page, right? So pretty clear that it's very effective. But I wanted to make sure that we built in a little bit of logic and reasoning to understand how it came to that conclusion, especially as I'm testing this workflow. So I left that in there, right? And the nice thing is you can see here's the logic. So it gathered the information from that website. For consulting services, there's an interview with the CEO. I mean, the deep dive of this research is what's impressive, right? For it to take a step down into the blog page and understand that they're talking about consulting services in an interview is pretty impressive. I wanted to go a little bit further as well, just to understand the process for the research. And so we wrote a prompt here that asked it to explain the research process to us. And so here it goes in, it tells you I visited their newsfeed section, I found a link to their main webpage, I did some Google searches on email marketing, referencing their site here. I also searched for AI but couldn't find anything. I also visited a link that talks about how they utilize email marketing and infographics for promotion. So again, imagine trying to do this by hand versus just having AI do this level of research for you. What you could do with this research is, there's all kinds of copy you could create. You could do further enrichments, further searching. But I wanted to build a pretty basic workflow that did a lot of that for you. And then we go a little bit further and we had AI output the table to a JSON file. And so we did that so we could create structured columns that then allow us to filter this down further, right? So imagine if they don't meet any of the criteria, I probably don't want to use them, even though they were a lookalike domain. If they're not doing the services that I'm selling, then I probably don't want to outreach to them, right? So we wanted to build structured tables that said, yes, they do email marketing, yes, they do consulting, yes or no, they do AI services. And then we wrote a formula that basically said, do they do any of these three services? If so, yes. And that way we could just filter on that, right? So you could obviously filter on any of these columns. But I wanted to just show you, especially if you decide you want to use GPT 3.5, other models like Cohere, which you could build in here as well, the capability of just, starting with, you don't have to do the lookalike domain, you can just do LinkedIn, but importing for an example, 50,000 leads as part of my clay plan. And then with a simple workflow, going in and being able to say, do they offer these services? And it doesn't have to be services. It could be, do they mention this particular thing, right? These tables are now already written for you. So you just need to go into the prompts and substitute specifically what you're looking for, right? So if you're looking for something specific, then you would come here and say, I want to find out if they do Facebook ads or Google PPC or whatever service. It could be chiropractic, it could be, any kind of business service that you're looking for. That would give you a pretty significant, uptick in your outreach if you're only reaching out to people who do exactly what you're selling, right? Or have a need for what you're selling on a persona-based approach, right? So this is all about increasing specificity to your ICP and getting messages to people who really need your service. So we'll share the workflow in the video. Hope it helps and hope get you closer to good solid lead gen and good solid marketing towards your ideal customer.